Hey all, Nicholas Steffen here again with another video for Project Wake Up. I see a lot of you waking up and asking questions. In this video I want to talk to you all about the Australian government and what it is. How many of you Aussies out there honestly believe that our Australian government is our de jure government? How many of you know that we have a constitution? Is the Australian government today our de jure, and de jure meaning lawful, government as prescribed by the Commonwealth of Australia 1900 UK Constitution? In our Commonwealth of Australia Constitution 1900 UK, it prescribes the government as the government of the Commonwealth of Australia, which is under the Imperial Crown of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland. So what is this Australian government when it is meant to be called the government of the Commonwealth of Australia? Did you know that in section 128 of our Commonwealth of Australia Constitution, it states that for any changes in laws to be created, amended, repealed, change in name of government officers, etc., it must all go via referendum. So you, me, and every other Aussie must vote yes or no for that change. Not many of you would know how our Commonwealth of Australia came about. The fathers of federation, such as Quick and Garran, Deakin, Parkes, etc., were sick and tired of seeing Australian colonies having to fork out for England's war debts. Our forefathers came up with the idea of federation and coming together as one. Our de jure Commonwealth of Australia is a kingdom of heaven brought down to earth using the authorised King James Bible. The authorised King James Bible has been adopted as the supreme law of the land, where monarchs kiss it at their coronations, thus making it the royal law. James 2:8 in the AKJV states, "If ye fulfil the royal law according to the Scripture, thou shalt love thy neighbour as thyself, ye do well." Due to war debts, we fell under administration in 1907 with the Hague Convention 4, Wars on Land. In 1908, we see a flag change from the 6-point red ensign to the 7-point blue ensign representing Admiralty, which was not officially recognised until the 1953 Flags Act, which is also the same year Queen Elizabeth II was coronated. She was coronated under the St Edward's Crown of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, which is the administrator, but yet she still kissed a authorised King James Version Bible, which had our imperial crown on it. So I'm not quite sure if she got crowned as the monarch of both houses, both realms, kingdoms, however you want to look at it. There's a video floating around of Pauline Hanson telling us that the red ensign is our proper flag. In 1911, we see the Commonwealth Inscribed Stock Act, which marked the setting up of Australians becoming stock. Because currently today, you and me and everyone else we treat as being spiritually dead and physically dead to the Australian government, and we get treated like stock on the New York Stock Exchange. In 1919, we had the Treaty of Versailles, and you can't have a peace when there are war debts outstanding. 1928, we see the addition of the National Debt Sinking Fund Act and the addition of Section 105A to our Commonwealth Constitution. In 1930, the Geneva Convention, which was a convention about providing a uniform means of promissory notes and bills, suspended our Commonwealth Constitution, along with America's Constitution and other Commonwealth signatories. In 1945, we have the Bretton Woods Agreement, which created the IMF for development of war-ravaged lands. Australia, along with Russia, were the last to ratify in 1946. In 1966, we see an unlawful change from using British pounds as prescribed by our Commonwealth Constitution to using Australian dollars, and the word dollar in Latin means debt. So we adopted a debt-based fiat currency as Australia's been operating under bankruptcy and international maritime contracts. In 1966, we also see the additional postcodes, which really are military posting codes, as we've been under military occupation since 1907, and if you claim to be that all uppercase name, that incorporated name as a citizen aboard the Australian government's corporate ship, then you're deemed to be in the military, and that's where the titles of Miss, Mrs, etc. apply. Now, in 1973, we got screwed over big time, and everything started to become corporatised. In 1973, Gough Whitlam unlawfully removed our government of the Commonwealth of Australia and replaced it with the corporate Australian government. That same year, Gough Whitlam also removed our Parliament of the Commonwealth of Australia and replaced it with the corporate Australian Parliament. All this was done without referendum pursuant to Section 128 of our Commonwealth Constitution, 1900 UK. In that same year, we also had our allegiance removed as being loyal British subjects to being Australian citizens aboard their corporate ship operating under the laws of Admiralty and Maritime, which really are the laws of banking, laws of commerce. As anything to do with money and banking, all has to do with the law of the sea. It's got nothing to do with the law of the land. Just like a business going under administration in 1973, our Commonwealth of Australia went into full-on insolvency, where public offices have been privatised when they are not meant to be. Our water, power, utility assets sold off to third-party corporations to operate for profit. The prison system sold off, even our courts, hospitals, parks and anything else you can name. 1973, Gough Whitlam also unlawfully signed the Union Treaty against Section 128 of our Commonwealth Constitution, thus turning all law into alternative agreements, meaning private contracts. Australia operates under bankruptcy since 1930, and instead of the common laws of England, it has all become international maritime contracts, where everyone has a private agreement with the government, really the IMF. So do you still believe today, Australians, that the Australian government is our constitutional government of the Commonwealth of Australia? Just like Slim Dusty's song where he sang about how your country has been sold. I do this out of love for my fellow man.